This is the first episode in my new series that I'm calling Divine Guidance, Listening to Hear God's Voice More Clearly. We're just bringing ourselves back to what we already know is the truth. But in our busy lives where we're always doing, we're always fixing, we're always planning, I want this series to really be about receiving and absorbing and taking the time, pauses, but finding out how can we do that in our daily lives, that it doesn't have to be a separate thing. Okay? So don't worry. This is not about adding more to your checklist. It's not about striving. I just want to share gentle reminders that I think you and we crave so that we can say, yeah, that's right. I'm fine. I'm settled. Even as we're busy and we're doing life, right? So if that sounds good to you, let's get into it.
This is the Balance Journey, where we're all about turning challenges into growth opportunities and bringing mindfulness to everyday life.
Okay, so receiving and absorbing. Those things we're capable of doing. We have felt God's presence in a variety of ways over the years. And let's talk about the fact that all of God's creation has a vibration, just as we as mind, heart, spirit beings, we have a vibration. And so, the thing about balance, as we talk about in the balance journey, is we're always seeking to kind of come into alignment with the bigger vibration. So in that sense, if we could just acknowledge that nature has its own heartbeat, God's heartbeat and all of these beautiful things, and if we want to actually feel that we're receiving, that we're absorbing a sense of being held by God, then we could actually renew ourselves if we're letting God's resonance flow through us. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually just sit on the ground in nature, take a walk under some trees in a forest or even in a park. Go in your backyard, do some gardening, or sit. Maybe take your shoes off, put them on the grass, right? This isn't a woo-woo thing. It's not making a fanatical nature enthusiast out of you or me. It's just acknowledging, okay, God is really all around me, and I do want to receive and absorb mindfully and intentionally. So I'm going to take the time, right? It's a choice. We can do that. And I love that it's so easy. The interesting thing is that there have been studies that show that, walking in a forest can improve your mood and actually boost your immune system or reduce stress and accelerate recovery from surgery or illness just by looking out at green space. So I think that that's such an interesting thing. And while, they're going to have their documented reasons, this vibrational aspect, to me, that's the most simplified, the most mysterious, but the most simplified. It's God's vibration. And when we choose to engage with it by gazing, by entering a forest or whatever, then we are actually able to naturally kind of come back into our own equilibrium of that with God. So I think that's super nice to know, right? It's just important, though, that, I'm not recommending that this is a treatment in any way. I just do think that we all want to be reminded that we are held. We are held by love. We are held by God. And I just think it's beautiful that God arranged it so that vibrationally it is all around us and we can always tune in to that. So what you might do, if you want to be really intentional, you're trying to be mindful about this, is to just make sure that you first are saying, God, help me to be in a receiving mode. Help me to remember to pause for those times. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be in a doing mode and getting a lot accomplished and, continuing to be busy in life, but help me to be in a receiving mode and actually notice your presence throughout my day through nature. You don't have to do extra stuff, Maybe it's you are walking from your parking spot to an appointment, and as you see green grass or flowers planted or you're walking under some trees, just notice and connect. Even reach out and touch if you want to. I think that is something that really makes me feel like I'm more in the moment. It's a moment of awareness, and you're choosing to say, I want to receive this. I want to absorb it. So when we're asking God to please help me connect with you in this moment through this, that's just another aspect that is available to us to remind us you are held. You are held always. And I just think then we're just making contact, We are making contact with the vitality of God's vibration that's actually coming through nature, and it's connected to the earth. It's humming with God's love, and all we are needing to do is be mindful, receive it, absorb it. So maybe breathe deeply in that moment, but just the pause and actually enjoying the flower. I mean, the first time I started to like go out and touch flowers, I was like, wow, it's such a soft, soft petal. It's amazing. It's like velvet. So you just begin, I mean, you're still using your senses to engage with God, but you're using it by engaging vibrationally with what is coming from nature that is always there and available to us. And then we can take it further, we can be intentional about going outside and maybe having a picnic once in a while and having our meal outdoors, sitting on the ground, or taking our shoes off and walking on the grass in your backyard when your grandkids are playing or your dog is outside. Go for a hike, go for a swim. And if you don't have access to green spaces, consider maybe a botanical garden membership or something that you feel will enable you to make it a part of your regular routine and engaging in receiving and absorbing the vibration of nature. You don't have to do anything more. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to visualize it. To me, it's about making sure that we acknowledge it. This is an actual thing that is constantly there. This vibration is always around us. And so our opportunity is to just say, I want to acknowledge that it's there for me. And the experience of this is not conditional, right? It's not conditional on our performance or our mood. It's the foundation that we're already standing on. So we have access to it. And I really hope that you are encouraged that when you and we approach our days in this way, that we can actually feel that resonance and it will impact so many other things. I'm not promising that you're going to see it, but when you do something based on principle, and for me the principle is that God's vibration is within this, therefore I can access God's vibration in these ways, then when you choose to make more intentional choices for that reason, whether or not you can say, oh yeah, it's a tangible, I can check it off, it's something I definitely know has shifted, that you are saying, at least in one aspect, I know I am doing my best to realign and to be balanced with God's vibration. That's how I look at it. So the more you connect with this love, the more we experience it, then our vibration actually aligns more closely with God's. And now let's just be more intentional about actually engaging with it. In your own way, you're going to find the things that work so that you are more mindfully in that mode of receiving and absorbing. And I really hope that that's what you've been encouraged with in this first episode of the series. I will see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, step outside and step into the truth that you and we are held by love.